was made crystal clear for me at my dad's memorial service back in 2001 when he passed away. And there was a packed church in Detroit. And my brother and my sister and I, we got up and spoke, and there was a great collage and video presentation talking about my dad's life. And obviously we were quite proud and emotional at that time. But one of the things that sticks with me, 10 years later, and I can't believe it's already been 10 years. Time's gone by so fast. But there were so many people that came up to each and every one of us and said, "You have no idea how much your dad impacted my life, or what your father did for me." Because he never sat around the dinner table and bragged about it. He never kept a book of "you owe me." But he always talked about how important it was to help others, how critical it was to be involved in one's community. And he had a favorite saying that he told us all the time, that you make a living by what you do, but you make a life by what you give. And he lived his life that way, and he lived it with passion, and being passionate is one of those things that makes life meaningful. I mean, what are you really passionate about? What are you so on fire about that you would be willing to commit your life, or maybe give your life for? What would you work to do because you really love it, not just because you want a job? And I just had that conversation recently with a young woman that's involved in our program that is in the process of changing careers because of the economic downturn and the downsizing that we all hear about. And she's thinking about where she wants to go. And she said that she really doesn't want to settle. She wants to do something that has meaning. And we should live our lives the same way. I mentioned to Russ, who's been taking the pictures back there, that too many of us have become human doings rather than human beings. We've forgotten what it means to be present, to live our lives. I am envious of people like my daughter Tucker, who, by the way, tonight will be performing at the historic Bluebird Cafe as part of an ASCAP showcase of 4 of its artists, its singer-songwriters. She's a Belmont student, and she knew from the time she was a child that she wanted to sing. And she's been blessed with a beautiful voice. She's been blessed with the ability to write wonderful lyrics. And so she's living that purpose and living that dream. And it's always fun for me to watch her as she goes along. And I always think back to years ago when I was visiting New York City. And when I go, I typically will find one of my old roommates from college. And he loves jazz, and we'll go down into the village and catch some jazz. And we were at the Blue Note one night, and there was a guy, he's like 95 years old, and I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's a saxophone player. He was blind. And this man got up and jammed and could still kill it at 95 years old, and had the place just going bananas, and I enjoyed the music. But what sticks with me even today was the joy in his face. His soul smiled as he did what he was doing for those of us in that room. Even when he was sitting there by himself, waiting for the next set, because we stayed for a second set, and you could just see it, you could just feel it, and I felt compelled to go up and shake his hand and just to thank him for sharing his gift with us. So what's your gift? What is your passion, and are you sharing that with others?